Augustine points out, what should be obvious to us already, that those of goodwill love an eternal and unchangeable law that reciprocally bestows joy. I'm going to try and connect some dots here. The eternal law, according to Augustine, orders everything perfectly. If reason is a superior attribute of humans, then by it, the eternal law perfectly orders the soul. If this is the case, loving reason is loving the eternal law's application to us. In loving the eternal organizing principle for humans, we appear to develop these four virtues of the soul: prudence, fortitude, temperance, and justice. These virtues seem to be indicators that our internal house is in order, and we experience joy for we are allowed reason, which looks to be at least partially the eternal law, organize us and set us straight. This is what I'm getting from Augustine so far. I could be wrong and might need to revise this. Proceed with caution. Those who love the passing ephemera of the world, money, honors, beauty, etc., do not love reason and do not love the eternal law. They seek happiness so desperately, but reap dysfunction, for they have not been properly ordered by reason. Their internal house is a mess. These are the big takeaways for me from Book 1. Augustine closes out the final chapter of Book 1 with a discussion of how temporal law deals with the possessions of man. It didn't seem to me to be terribly relevant. What seemed to matter most here was that we understood what marks distinguish a soul that loves eternal things, how loving reason and the eternal law orders the soul and fills it with happiness, how chasing temporal things reduces people to slaves of desire, and how our will's free choice is responsible for all of this. Evodius does raise a closing question about whether or not God ought to have given us free will at all. For on Evodius' view, God is responsible for the evil people choose. He could have made us all holy automatons. Augustine isn't troubled and plans to take up that question later. What's bothering me as we close this first book is that it doesn't look like Augustine ever gave us an answer as to the status of those who kill in self-defense. It would certainly be evil, for it shows an excessive attachment to kill if someone robbed us of something, but it is still not obvious to me if we are inordinately attached to life when we engage in self-defense. My instincts tell me that this isn't an evil act, but I was really hoping that Augustine would clarify it already. Maybe he'll come back to it in the next book.